launch phase, everything looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Welcome to the Edge Morning Show.
With Chris Knight, Eric Johnson, Fox 2's Faust, and Tabitha Hassell.
The Edge starts now.
Turn on the radio. Turn on your radio.
Hey, guys, gals, friends, and pals. It's National Radio Day today.
I love radio.
I listen to radio.
Oh, it's just the radio.
Then I should be able to listen to the radio.
Think we could listen to the radio or something?
I'm the #1 DJ.
What station? I listen to the radio. I must have heard it.
It's X-rated radio, barnyard radio.
What are you listening to? Happy National Radio Day.
Come on, it's showtime.
Hey, welcome to the show. It is showtime. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, yeah, you know it. The weekend's here, 8:02. You're listening to The Edge. Appreciate you joining us this morning. This is a very, very special day. I almost fell out of my chair when the guy in red walked into the studio this morning at 8 o'clock.
What?
The guy in red.
Oh, my.
I'm here in spirit every morning
Is
at
Eric
7:59.
You're a spirit radio host. So I'd say, welcome,
love this.
Welcome to the spirit world.
I love getting here this early. The camera's not even set up for me yet.
Where's
I like
Tabitha
it.
at today?
Tabitha went out drinking. She got knee wrong.
Jacked up her knee. Found some dude at Napoli.
She's going back on the Mississippi River.
Yeah, well, how old is she? She's old. Happy birthday, Tab. Wake up. Go get yourself some coffee, and we'll pull the train for you today.
Welcome to the show. Tabitha's not in yet. Who knows? Maybe she'll show up. Maybe she won't. That's kind of how Tabitha rolls these days. She's following her spirit world. Yeah. Tabitha Hassell. Who knows where she is? She might. Rumor has it she might be at an alleged doctor's appointment this morning.
Well, she did fall off of a boat into the Missouri River. Yeah. She fell off of a boat.
She fell off of a boat into the river.
True story. She fell off. She thought she broke her knee, and she's been prancing around for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, having everybody put their finger inside of a hole inside of her knee. This is true. This is a true story.
Oh, she knew better than to ask me.
No, I'm telling you. This is a true story. So I go, you didn't break your damn knee. If you did, you wouldn't be able to walk. She goes, oh, no, come here and look at this. There is a legitimate crater inside of her knee.
Did you feel it?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Don't try that.
Is there a space in her knee?
Yeah, a dime.
Kind of like her head?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
There's a lot of space.
God, so she's going to an orthopedic guy
today.
today.
The guys will play.
She's going to an orthopedic today.
Yeah, she is. So, she is. So she is going to an orthopedic.
Well, that's what she said anyway.
Okay, maybe she'll call in. Joe Patterson says, "Who are we going to upset today?" Now.
Oh, we'll find somebody.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, that.
Speaking of which, thanks again. Thanks for joining us. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell is not here. She is allegedly getting her knee fixed. We'll see. I don't know. I pray she's all right, or she may be on crutches. Or
fine.
The main thing here is Tabitha's knee will get better. But when you go out drinking and partying and swimming in the Mississippi River, just be careful. Okay,
she's top heavy. She's top heavy. She's like the opposite. She's the opposite of a weeble wobble.
You did not just say that.
She is. No, I mean I'm just saying when you go out on a boat with plexiglass stairs and whatnot, it's going to get wet and you're going to slip and your knee is going to come down onto something. If it doesn't come in the water, it's going to hit the boat. Boom. That's what happens. Go to the orthopedic. You'll be fine.
Top heavy.
Okay. Hey, I'm done. Back to the show.
Oh, my God. Eric Johnson, Tabitha, top heavy. Hassell?
It's like a upside down weeble wobble.
Oh, my God.
I love you, Tab.
Okay. It didn't take long for radio to go into 18-year-old boy humor today, did it?
It didn't. But you know what? This is an amazing show. I woke up early, not because Tabitha's not here, but because we get to talk to the one and only Eric Schmidt. And he is a rock star across, not the state of Missouri, but across the United States. This is your next senator, people. I'm sorry to tell you, this guy has the credentials. He's got the charisma. He's got the balls. He's got the gumption. Eric Schmidt has done some amazing things. And when do you ever hear about your state attorney general? Never. And this guy is like all over the place fighting the good fight. So that's why.
So Chris, he's
I'm so
calling
excited
it.
about.
He's calling in at 8:15. How do you want to handle this? Are we going to break before him,
It's
or
a free-for-all Friday, man. We're just going to do
it
what we
kind of
want to do.
feels like it right
Yeah.
now? It's been a long ass week. I'm tired. I'm run down. Hopefully, it doesn't show on the radio.
It does.
Tabitha's not here. We've got Eric Schmidt coming in. When there's so much to talk to him about, not only the mask mandate, but we forget the original time that we really started to try to get Eric was. It's been a good week for Eric Schmidt. You're right, Eric. Not only did he beat the Biden administration in a lawsuit for the stay in place or remain in place situation in Mexico to reinstate Trump rules, he then beat Sam Page in court.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice.
Man.
And he also
So
had
happy
to
for
file
him.
Jackson, Missouri, also did a forced mask mandate. So guess what? Eric Schmidt had to go file suit against them as well.
No,
and he's like, we're going to win that as well.
Yeah.
I did read that. You sent that last night. That's the same thing that St. Louis County's doing or tried to do, right?
Yeah, it's over. It's over. But
It is.
you'll see people who are, and you know what? If Schmidt would have lost this, I'd be saying, hey, listen, the mask mandate's in place in St. Louis County. It's over. Deal with it. The mask mandate is over in St. Louis County. Deal with it. I mean, we've got people say, well, it's just on hold right now. I'm going, oh, my God. No, it's not. It's not. It's from the moment HB 271, a state law, was passed overwhelmingly by the Missouri State Legislature, it was only a matter of time if a local executive, a county executive, tried to do a, quote, health order, that they would have to go through the proper channels and the proper process. St. Louis County says, not Vic, St. Louis County says, the county council says Sam Page is not abiding by the rules, and they didn't back what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind, for everybody who does believe in a mask, this whole situation, all Ritter days, the Democratic African-American councilwoman chair asked of Sam Page, and Shalonda Webb, the other Democratic county councilwoman, African-American female, strong, awesome leaders in their communities, all they supported by several local mayors, all they asked was for Sam Page to please come to the county chambers and speak to them and show them data on why he felt this order/mandate was needed.
Yes.
And as of now, this is not Vic saying it. This is what county council and what Ritter Day said. We just want to see you, Sam, and he has not shown up.
Yep. And you know what is frustrating?
So anybody that wants a mask mandate or thinks it's good for them or their kids, you need to put that anger and that frustration all over one Sam Page.
Exactly.
Not those who are saying, hey, maybe we don't need this, just a requirement. So it's just, news is an interesting thing to cover. It really is when you see all sides of a story.
There's no all sides of the story. Here's the problem I'm having. And I guarantee that our listeners are having right now as well. It's over. The game is up. The clock is over. The players are.
What's over?
The mask mandate.
The mask
It's
mandate
over.
is. Now,
you can be pissed about it all you want, but when the buzzer rings and the players have left the field and they are in the showers and the lights are turning off on the field, there's no way that your team who just lost is going to win again. It's over.
Here's what could happen. The only other thing that could happen is if Sam Page at some point in time, if the numbers are still there, decides to try to do this again and goes to Ritter Days and Shalonda Webb, the two Democrats that voted with 3 Republicans to make this an overwhelming 5-2 majority that's been voted down 3 times. If he did show up with some data and prove to them, yeah, it is, they would vote for it in a heartbeat, and then there would be a mask mandate in St. Louis County.
Here's the problem I'm having, and here's
but
where
right now
here's where
he
I'm worried.
shows no signs of that.
Here's where I'm worried.
And there is no mask mandate in St. Charles.
Here's where I'm
County
worried.
either.
Here's where I'm worried. That's never going to happen. Page does not have those data points. He doesn't have the numbers. If he did, he would use them. He would have a PowerPoint presentation in prime time on 2, 4, and 5. Here's the problem that I'm having. KMOX yesterday, I heard. It is a disputed thing. I'm literally looking on Fox 2 now. More COVID patients admitted to area hospitals last week. Nothing about mask mandate. Every single day, it seems like our local media is trying to push this COVID fear crap. That's the thing that could push the council members over the edge, is that the media isn't just reporting, this is over. This is a non-event anymore. Legislator has spoken. The council has spoken. Sam Page, you lost. Sam Page, you know what I would do if I was Sam Page? I would say, look, guys, we're putting an advisory out there. It's a mask advisory. We advise that you wear a mask if you want ultimate protection for your face. But it's not a mandate. You are in the United States of America. We are in a. Remember yesterday I talked about DEFCON numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We maybe Sam Page could go. We're in DEFCON 5. You don't have to put a mask on, but we recommend it. We recommend it.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell is taking care of her knee. Allegedly, she fell off a boat in the Mississippi River. She hit a rock or something. I have no idea. Maybe a fish hit her. One of those flying Asian carp. She said that they're attracted to her for some reason.
Flying carp.
She said whenever she gets near the Mississippi River, the carp come after her.
It was her last time when she got hit in the face with a carp, right?
Yeah, carp hit her. But
I mean, she had a mark on her face.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break, quicker than normal. Don't go anywhere. Share the show. You won't want to miss this interview. So much to talk about with Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt. Not only what's going on in the border, his victory against the Biden administration, along with the Texas Attorney General, but what happened with this back and forth lawsuit being forced into talks with County Executive Sam Page. We'll find out what's going on there. The rest of the state, what people can do if they agree or don't agree with mask mandates for schools. I mean, there's so much to talk about. We'll get to Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt right after this break. Don't go anywhere. If you have questions, let us know on the Facebook line 100.7 The Viper, or you can call us 636-695-2915. Back with more of The Edge right after this on a Friday morning. It's 8:13.
Edge morning traffic.
Significant delays for drivers in North St. Louis County this morning. A crash 270 westbound past Washington Elizabeth has traffic backed up for 5 miles. The slowing starts at 367. A stalled vehicle 64 eastbound past Chesterfield Airport Road has been moved over to the shoulder. In St. Charles County, traffic is moving on I-70 and 64. No problems reported on Highway 61 in Wentzville. Minor slowing eastbound 364 approaching 141. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose, and that's your Edge traffic.
The Edge.
Time for some upgrades? A new deck, a privacy fence, or maybe a whole new look with new siding. But who do you call? What you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. They are locally owned and have over 30 years experience in every kind of fencing, siding, and deck jobs. Free estimates and everything is done right the first time. Bad Boys Construction is veteran owned and gives military discounts. So what you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. Online at badboysconstructionllc.godaddysites.com. On Facebook at Bad Boys Construction LLC.
One of the things we're so dependent upon is our automobiles. There's no worse feeling when you go out to your car and it won't start. Oh, man. Tired of trying to find an honest, reliable mechanic for your car and truck? Town and County Garage in Wright City has kept the Westplex on the road since 1972. The biggest compliment to a company is repeat customers and referrals. When you need honest, reliable, and affordable auto repair from inspections, brakes to engine work, call Town and County Garage in Wright City, 636-745-3626.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. The new Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is only $8.99, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Welcome to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. We're 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th in line.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Car Next in St. Peter's. Right now, we're paying top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. At Feldman Carnection, we'll take anything on trade: van, Jeep, truck. Spring into a quality pre-owned car, truck, Jeep, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in today before someone else buys the one you want. Feldman's Carnection in St. Peter's at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Edge with Eric Johnson. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell is getting a knee replacement. It happens when you get over 60. She celebrated her 60th birthday yesterday, and I think that was her gift to herself, a knee replacement. No, I'm just kidding.
She got it at Walgreens.
Tabitha, if you're listening, we love you, girl, wherever you may be. If you're passed out on a dock near the Mississippi, if you're at your shed out in Ironton,
be careful.
If you're in a doctor's office actually getting
don't fall down,
getting filler, not for your face, but for your knee, we love you.
You got to do
and we miss you. But I absolutely love our Facebook line. You guys are the best. Maybe her knee gave out from carrying you fruitcakes.
That would be a stress fracture. That wouldn't be a hole in your knee.
There is absolutely no doubt when it comes to the national issue or the international issues, Tabitha carries us. There's no doubt. And we appreciate her. So that's where we are this Friday. Hope everybody's having a great day. Of course, this is the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. It flies by because that's what we do. Try to separate the fact from the fiction of everything that is and isn't going on in the world. Glenn Thompson, I agree with you. I would put the odds 2-1. She's hungover somewhere. Then it was premeditated because she told us yesterday she wouldn't be here. So she already knew how much drinking she would have done. She's called her shots before. No pun intended.
Little Babe Ruth action.
And by the way, if anybody didn't realize, we all have that friend, that one friend where you go to a bar or a restaurant, you might want to have a beer, a nice glass of Chardonnay or, an easy Merlot or Cab. And then there's that one friend that always wants to amp it up with shots.
Yes.
That's Tabitha Hassell.
And Chris Knight. I'm going to have to warn you about the Christmas parties, man, around him. It's not good.
Yes, it is. What's wrong with it?
You've got Tabitha Top Heavy Hassell, and you've got Chris Patron.
Yeah. Well, we used to call him Machine Gun because the shots would come at us so fast. Seriously.
It was a good time, though, wasn't it?
Back in the old days when this station was at its peak, let's just say, and you would go to this Christmas parties, you always had to know where the door was behind you.
Peak? I thought this station is at its peak.
Are we peaking, Chris? Are we peaking?
I think we are.
Okay, well, the parties used to rock around here.
I can't wait till this year's Christmas party.
Why? As you look at me with that devilish stare. No, I think we should raffle away. You can stick your finger in Tabitha's kneecap. For one of the listeners, but we're waiting for Eric Schmidt to call in.
Eric he's gonna be calling in. We're talking to his media people right now. He wasn't answering the phone because I can tell you this much: he may be on the other phone dealing with another fire. Because when you're the attorney general, the state's top attorney, you're dealing with stuff constantly, over and over and over again.
Messaging is one of those important things, though, and I think this is a great outlet for Eric. People listen; they want to know what's going on. This is a good outlet for him just to kind of riff on what's happening. I think that he's going to be unfiltered today, hopefully, and it would be great if we could ask him about, a few of the other topics that are at hand right now.
We got a lot to talk about. In the meantime, here's the deal. COVID cases are sky high throughout the St. Louis region, including Wentzville, according to, quote, testing by the St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force. What I found interesting was the fact that just in the month of August, there have been 1,491 people that have come into the hospital and then out. There's been a ton of people that have gone in for COVID. We've talked about how real COVID is and can be. The good thing, the saving grace here is the fact that if there is, you still have a little bit of a less of a death toll.
What do you mean a little bit?
Well,
I said it's the context that I can't understand.
If you go on a day-by-day basis, we did this. I did a story last night for Fox 2 at 9. We put it out on a board where you could see. Go back to January 19th and then August 19th. We're about 100 less hospitalizations right now than where we were then. That's it. I mean, it was high. It was mid 700s.
Okay.
We were about 622 yesterday, total people needing COVID care in hospitals.
What is a COVID care? I mean,
how many people?
People needing treatment.
A ventilator or treatment? What does that mean?
Whatever the treatment is, they need to be in hospital beds because they don't trust being at home by themselves.
Is it because of the fear? See, that's what the thing. It's in context. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is it because
there's
we
there's
feared
two
our...
other categories?
Okay.
You got those who are hospitalized, those who are on ventilators, and those who are in the ICU.
Yeah.
ICU
What about
first
those
before
that are
ventilator.
released?
And then you have those as well, and there's numbers for that as well.
So
And
that's not
people
part of the 622.
No, the 622 was currently hospitalized in hospital beds for COVID-related symptoms, needing, quote, hospitalization.
And how many of those people are in the hospital right now because of this summer cold that everybody is catching, which sucks amazing. It sucks. And it affects your lungs. And how many of those people go, we got to get you to the hospital to see if this is COVID? They don't go get to the COVID test at Walgreens. They literally go into the emergency room. They're now put down as, I think I have COVID, and now you're one of the data points. I think the only data point that we really need, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but is how many people have died of this Delta variant, which is the prevalent COVID strain right now, apparently in St. Louis. I know nobody with COVID. I know nobody that has severe cases of COVID. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know any of the demographics of this new COVID strain. Nobody. You just said Wentzville is slammed.
Yeah,
there's no.
Well, Wentzville has the highest rate of positivity.
I haven't
cases.
seen
it. It was over 14%, higher than anybody else in the air, according to the task force.
Is that because you requested a COVID test?
Yes, when you go and test.
That's it.
The rate, the positivity rate.
Well, I'll tell you what, COVID banners were all over the place at the urgent cares and over at the hospitals. Nothing. It's a ghost town as far as that goes. Now, I'm not saying I don't trust that media. I'm not saying I don't trust that data. But to me, do I take from this that the Delta variant is just, it's not as lethal? Is it something that it might be a little different? It might be more like a cold. I mean, what's the deal?
No, the variant is supposed to be much worse when it comes to being transmissible. The variant is, as we've talked about in the past. But there's so many things to decipher with this. Number one, January 19th, there were 11 deaths January 19th, there were 11 deaths that day.
Okay.
Yesterday, August 19th, there were 8 deaths that were reported.
Okay.
So that's
in St. Louis.
No, St. Louis metropolitan. Okay, once again,
I'm with Chris. This is confusing.
I have explained this
Chris.
day after day after day.
Those numbers don't make any sense.
The St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force represents the St. Louis metropolitan area, which is 2.8 million people, which covers the entire metro going all the way out, even out into Franklin County.
Right.
No.
270-ish,
no,
right?
It goes all the way out here.
I didn't know that.
And it goes into the east side.
Okay, fantastic.
So Franklin, Jefferson counties, all that stuff.
It's a 2.8 million people.
So
area.
8 people reportedly died yesterday of COVID.
Correct.
In
that was
that
reported.
big ring.
And there's a 2-day lag time.
How many
Correct.
people usually die in that ring in a 24-hour period?
Well,
good question.
And this is what we've been talking about. In the last month, we've been averaging about 7 per day. Now,
and 8 yesterday just for COVID.
For COVID or COVID-related death symptoms.
So if I'm doing my math right, there should have been a total of 15 deaths yesterday. 8 for COVID and 7 just general deaths. Is that right?
No. There shouldn't be any total. It's just what happens. What you get is what they report. That's how many people died yesterday. There's no average or 7 or plus 8. That's what they just had. In the last week, Chris, they were averaging about 7 per day. Yesterday there was 8 per day. Does that make sense? It was just 1 more than what they had been averaging.
Right.
That's how that total goes. So that's what we're being told. Now, here's the thing. Those people in the ICU, it was 134 on January 19th. Yesterday, it was 138. So there were 4 more people in the ICU than on January 19th, yesterday, throughout the St. Louis Metropolitan Area Hospital.
Okay.
So
I would like you to check with them because I think anybody that goes to the hospital and they come out with a positive COVID test, I bet they're considering that a hospitalization.
Yes.
I bet they are.
But you're right.
I bet they're doing
I'll bet
that.
you're right.
They do what now?
If you
go to the hospital, you don't feel good, you get a COVID test, you come out positive, I'll bet they're considering that a hospitalization because you're hospitalized in the ER and you have a positive COVID test.
No, well, if that was the case, but then are you staying or are you going home in your scenario?
Every scenario is different, but
No,
I
what
don't
happens?
think it matters at
Yeah,
that
it does,
point.
and here's why. You say if you go to the hospital and get tested.
Right.
Okay, if you stay, it's a hospitalization. If you go, it's not counted. I've asked that.
I don't agree with those
Because,
numbers.
well, it doesn't matter if you agree or I agree or Eric agrees.
I think they're phony.
It's the amount of beds that are being used, Chris.
Just for COVID.
Yes. We're being told just for COVID. That's what we're being told. Whether you believe it or anybody else believes it.
I don't believe it.
Now, here's the thing. I asked yesterday, and this is so bizarre. I asked the task force yesterday. I said, are you keeping track of flu numbers or flu deaths? And I was told, no, we don't do that. So but listen, then I asked Dr. Tannehill. I called Dr. Tannehill. He's the ICU director for several of the Mercy clinics.
Yep.
And I said, what's happened to flu? And he's like, I haven't dealt with a flu case since I can even remember. He's like, I know most of our listeners are going to disagree with this.
The flu just went away?
Yes, and here's why. He said last winter, the flu did go because we social distanced, had masks, washed our hands, were more cognizant of what we were doing. I said, so you really believe that? And he's like, there is no doubt 100%, and every medical professional in St. Louis agrees.
Well, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I don't agree with
And-
it.
Wow.
That is the most ridiculous thing
Because I know.
Tannehill could ever say. Somebody doesn't
And
have
he'll
a
come
cold,
back-
doesn't have
And he said that he would come back. He's slammed in his ICU,
Please
by
do,
the way.
because that's
He
ridiculous.
said that he'll come back on and talk about it.
I
as
love
well.
Tannehill. I do.
Yeah,
but man,
dude, I don't know. That guy's starting to get way
Okay.
out there, man.
But
I mean,
it's not. But Chris, it's not just Dr. David Tannehill. It's all of them. How can all the
it's
doctors
like a
be
sheep.
wrong?
It's like the sheep. A doctor can tell you, well, there's no flu. I've never heard of any year that there's never been a case of the flu.
yeah, because
There's
of
always
social
been the flu.
distancing at Walmart.
There's always been the flu. People have always had colds. But it just goes away because COVID's here?
I got to
I don't
agree,
know.
man.
Seems weird.
It's very odd what's going on. It really is. And Dr. Tannehill, I love him, but anybody that is willing to dismiss alternatives to treatments of COVID-19, which is now getting a lot of pub in different countries, and why we can't be the forefront of ivermectin and hydrochloroquine, which he doesn't seem to aspire to even learn about. Dr. Tannehill, he says, well, you know, the flu's gone. No, it's not gone. There are people that get the flu. COVID,
There has to be.
He looks at this COVID thing like it's. There are people on this planet, Vic, that look at COVID like this is the most sinister thing that's ever happened to the damn
and
planet.
Debbie Swift Copeland, this is why I asked. She said it. She's like, hospitals are not recording flu, pneumonia, REV due to protocol sent down by the CDC. I find it difficult to believe that the flu disappeared as well, Chris.
It can't happen.
Now, but here's the problem. We have no way of verifying it through our hospital systems. I've tried. I reached out and spoke to them.
And that sucks, Vic, because, here's the thing. We can't verify anything. We can't verify COVID deaths.
But you're going to hear over and over and over again, because it is happening. Chris, I'm telling you now, you talk to nurses in the hospital, you talk to docs. They're overrun with cases right now. They really are. And people in hospitals for this. We're not in flu season right now. We're not. We're not in flu season. We're in the dead of summer in August.
It's just incompetence again. Let me just say this. If this was such a thing, you don't go to the frickin' hospital because of COVID. You have a off-site place to treat COVID.
People are afraid.
And we got warehouses full of respirators and warehouses full of COVID equipment. We can have an off-site COVID unit spread out all over the St. Louis metropolitan area. And then you keep SSM and BJC and all these other places free so that you can treat cancer and the flu and the colds. And it is ridiculous, the incompetence of our leaders, and it's just getting overwhelming. And so I agree, yeah, maybe some people are going in there for COVID. They're not having the flu anymore. And the flu causes deaths, and it causes infection, and it causes all kinds of problems. So it would be nice if we could ask Lord Sam Page, look, game's over. Show us your damn data right now. We need to find out what we're making decisions on these kids and masks.
And by the way,
it's unbelievable.
I was just talking with Eric Schmidt's media man. He's going to get on the show, but he may be pushed back a little bit. He had an emergency meeting that came up as we were talking about. Not only did he take care of the St. Louis County mask mandate situation yesterday, now he's involved in Jackson, Missouri, where he says the local executive, I guess akin to a Sam Page, put a mask mandate in effect. So he's got that situation going on, plus dealing with the situation at the border as well, which we'll talk to him. So his media guy saying, hey, I'm getting him. He's in a meeting. It's going long. So we're going to get Eric on as soon as we can. But by the way, he's finding time for us in the midst of everything that's been going on. So I just want to give our listeners an update. We are getting to Eric Schmidt when it comes to everything that is going on, because it's all part of the same situation that we're dealing with. Now, Eric, the reporting of the numbers, I know for a lot of people it's very difficult to believe, but that's where we are this August 20th with the amount of cases that are going on. I know people who've gone and tested, and guess what? They came back negative in their testing.
Yeah, we had one here.
Well, and
we had one
come
here.
out
But
and
I
said
also
PCR
know-
tests, they can't decipher between COVID or the flu.
Well,
so how do you get an
total
accurate
access
number?
urgent care, because I brought that set up 2 weeks ago. We had a reporter who went and asked if the testing determined a flu case, COVID, or the variant. And we were told by those two outlets, it does not. However, a sample would be sent to the CDC to determine whether it's variant, and you would know within 2 to 3 weeks, and it was only on a case-by-case basis. So I'm not trying to deter numbers, to tear them down. What I'm trying to do is tell you this is what we were told and what's going on. I've yet to hear from the St. Louis Pandemic Task Force if the testing that they have is determining the difference between those three things. However, I did read an article yesterday, because I'm so sick and tired of having to study this and know it and feel like I'm trying to be an expert. I did read an article yesterday that said the testing does determine the difference between the three, but I have yet to hear from anybody in the St. Louis metro area, and I would love to regarding that situation. Would love, love, love to hear. Okay, so that's the deal, what you're dealing with right now, flu, COVID, or the variant, because we're being told that the variant is what's spreading. As a virus mutates, of course, we know it becomes more transmissible, but in most cases less deadly. And I can tell you this, since the recent surge in the last month and a half to 2 months, we have had less deaths than before.
Okay.
But what I've also been told, the makeup, the demographic, as you were speaking about, Eric, when it comes to the ICUs, it's mostly, unfortunately, people who have comorbidities.
Yes.
And
but which would by the way,
and it's hitting the African American race a whole lot more hard again. And on top of all of that, when it comes to the data, the kids. Yeah. By the way, yesterday there were 25 kids throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area.
Yeah.
That were hospitalized. 5 of them in ICU. There's been no deaths, but I was also told the predominant factor for all the kids, unfortunately, was they were obese.
Okay.
So they have a comorbidity that they're dealing with, which really sucks for these poor kids that they have to deal with this.
Sure does.
Because we do know COVID is real, and it can mess the F out of you up. In the last 2 months, I knew of 3 guys that were around my age, white males. None of the 3 had been vaccinated, and all 3 got COVID, and it messed them up terribly.
Okay.
One of them I talked about, who was in the ICU and on a ventilator at St. Joseph's Hospital. Chad made it through.
Yep.
And we gave a shout out the last couple of days to the staff over at St. Joseph Hospital, the docs and the nurses. Another friend for 3 weeks couldn't even leave his bedroom.
Okay.
And then another friend, same thing, could not believe that this had hit him. None of the 3 had been vaccinated. One of the 3 said if they had to do it again, they probably would have gotten vaccinated before.
Fantastic.
Because you keep hearing that it will make you less sick if you are. Not talking about any possible things down the road, what we know now about the vaccine, just to give you those examples.
Well, I tell you what, there are places for the vaccine, and it would be great if Sam Page would say, it's time to stop pussyfooting around with this crap. Sam Page would say, if you're an African American in North St. Louis and you have a BMI of 31, get the vaccine. You are in jeopardy, my friend. They're the ones that aren't getting it, apparently. If you look at the data, the African-American community up in North St. Louis is the one not getting the vaccines.
Well, when you look
and
at
those are the ones in the hospital.
Codes, and that's not just coming from Eric. That's coming from the facts that Eric saw. The St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force showed the zip codes. The predominant hospitalizations are coming from the same zip codes. The predominant area where there aren't vaccines, and if people aren't for vaccines, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But this is what's happening. It's in that same area. It's North County, North St. Louis County, and a few pockets of southwestern parts of the area. And so those people, that's where the most cases are coming from right now.
We have a profile of the people.
There is a profile, unfortunately.
And you know what? Fantastic. Let's not look at this as racist. Let's not look at this as anything other than let's take a look at the data for real. People who, like us, who explore the data, and I hate to say it, man. Okay, if you are if you're in shape, you take your vitamin C and zinc, and you have a BMI less than.
Thank you for bringing that up because we haven't talked about immune health yet.
Okay. Let's just start to say that one blanket, a comforter, isn't going to fix this problem. You need a patchwork of little blankets to really fix this problem. You need to have you have to be open-minded enough to say, you know what? I'm out of shape. I have not been vaccinated. This Delta variant can hurt me. I better go get Moderna or Pfizer. I know there might be inflammation in my body after that, but at least I won't get killed by this virus that's looming around. So you have to be able to, as a human being, break that down. Because if you do your research on the VAERS, is that what it's called?
VAERS reporting.
The VAERS reporting. Yeah, it sucks too. But it's like it's a trade-off. Maybe the healthy people can withstand COVID or at least take the chance.
Eric is not saying that he blames the black community for not wanting to trust the government on this. I just want to make sure. That's not what Eric is saying.
No, I'm not saying that my God. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
I just saw that from the Facebook line.
Look at the data. Look at the people who aren't getting vaccinated. Look at who the people are in the hospitals right now. And let's see if we can't protect them and go out and say, look, we are interested in your health.
Well,
you either stay inside as a overweight person with comorbidities and keep yourself safe, or go get the damn vaccination, protect yourself from getting into the ICU, and that's how you have to deal with this. You cannot deal with this like Joe Biden wants to deal with it, like everybody stick themselves with the vaccine. And then go get a booster 8 months later.
Joe, speaking of the president, he did mandate last night that all nursing homes, everybody in needs to be vaccinated. All workers need to be vaccinated as well. From the Facebook line, Donna O'Shea, she says young people are in long care rehab because of COVID. I see it every day. Somebody else says that they know people are pretending to be sick to get in there to get narco drugs.
What?
The other thing, stop the sugar intake.
Yes,
I'm a big believer, and I've talked about it before.
Yes.
I feel like I've navigated the way with the grace of God and through vitamin D and zinc and vitamin C every day for a year and a half. I'm a big believer in that, and this is an immune health situation, which we've talked about. Now, for those people who don't or haven't, you can find yourself in the hospital, and it's sad, but 2 of the 3 guys that I knew that were around my age appeared to be very, very healthy individuals that COVID knocked up and knocked out. Eventually, they were able to get up off the mat, but brutal. And then we're not even talking about things that you have to deal with afterwards from it. Now, once again, it's not FDA approved. Right. We already know that. We'll see. There's been a lot of reporting, according to VAERS, where it doesn't work. What we're talking about are the amount of positive cases right now. Okay. You see the positive cases, you see the people in hospitals, you see the people in ICUs and on ventilators. The ventilator situation, by the way, is it's up slightly.
From where?
From where we were in January. So it's all around the same. So that's where you have these issues. That's why hospital leaders
What's the
are yelling out and
demographic?
saying
What's
that.
another thing? Let's not be afraid anymore to talk about the demographic of who's getting dinged by this.
No, I
thing.
don't think anybody's afraid to talk. We talk about it all the time.
I'm not afraid of it anymore. Is it fit people who are
You'll have
marathon runners
you'll
who
have a
do the
case-
vitamin D and then
According to
Seriously.
Tannehill, you'll have a case like that every now and then.
Okay.
But no, we already know who,
Okay.
who the people are that are in the hospital for the most
Then
part.
let's not be
I just
afraid
said
to
it.
talk about that and spotlight the hell out of it. Because it kind of goes under the radar a little bit. Whenever I hear Chris Renier and Fox 2 News, he doesn't come out and say, you know what, this hospital is loaded up with people who are overweight, obese, and there's a lot of diabetes in here as well. It's not like Chris Renier doesn't come out and go, I got to tell you guys something. There's 15 marathon runners in here that take their vitamin D and zinc every single day. No, we need to start to hear the minutia of what this disease is doing, who is really vulnerable, and how we move forward with it. I don't feel vulnerable, Vic. I've had COVID.
At least
I don't
three
feel
times.
vulnerable. Maybe four. Maybe four. But as a caring person, look, my mom was overweight. She passed away, right? So I'll talk about it from a personal experience. My mom was, she had diabetes. If my mom was still alive today, I would put her in a hermetically sealed car, drive her to the hospital, and say, Mom, welcome to vaccination land. You're getting the shot. Because that's what I would do for my family. I would make a critical decision, and I would make sure she was vaccinated. I wouldn't want her hiding out in her house for the foreseeable future. I would want her vaccinated. I am trying to talk to the people listening to this show right now in exactly the same way. Are you vulnerable? Do you have a comorbidity? Talk to your doctor. Maybe get the shot, because I would love to see you come out of your house without the fear of being on a ventilator. That's all I'm saying. And that's how you handle this problem. We're not seeing that in the local media anymore at all. All we're seeing is the numbers. And as a matter of fact, the numbers are so confusing, Chris had to talk to you and go, I have no idea what the hell it is you're talking
Well,
about.
the numbers really aren't that confusing. I'm not
They're
trying to be
pretty
mean to
confusing.
Chris or you. They're not confusing if you look.
They just make no sense.
What doesn't make sense? And I'll explain it for you.
Well, I mean,
Seriously.
how are you going to trust a number? Is it, you say 600 and what was the number for yesterday? For total
620
cases?
No, here's the thing. Total hospitalization, so at the St. Louis metropolitan area, Chris, about 622.
Right. And what are they considering? What do they
You
consider
test
a
positive.
hospitalization?
You test positive for COVID.
Yeah.
And you can't just sit at home. You have to be in a hospital getting the care that they provide.
So if I go to a hospital and they say, yes, you're positive for COVID, and I'm sitting in that ER for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, is that a hospitalization?
I already said no, it's not.
It's got to be.
No, Chris.
It has to be. You're hospitalized. You're in the ER. It has to
You're
be.
coded. You're coded. You have a coded number.
They say it's not.
I don't believe it.
Because here's why, Chris. Because the bed capacity, they're freaking out about bed capacity for their staff. That's why.
You want to hear a story? My neighbor, and then
They
the
say
neighbor.
they have a waiting list in cases where they're like, please, if you're not in a severe case, there are people who want to be hospitalized, Chris, what we're telling you. They want to be.
That's a new part of the story.
No, that because they're afraid. That's why they don't want to be at home.
Here's the deal.
And they're being told if it's not horrible, we're so slammed right now.
Go
if
home.
it's possible, yes, and that's why it's not considered
Okay.
a hospitalization.
My neighbor, a few houses down, and then another neighbor a few houses down. They went to the hospital, Vic, because
But I'll continue to
they
take
thought
these
they had
questions
COVID.
to the task
They
force.
thought they had COVID, and guess what? They went in there and presented as a COVID patient. They got treated. Not one of them had COVID. So the question goes to Chris. Did that somehow get on a report somewhere that, oh, my God, COVID cases are flying around, and maybe we're reporting this whole thing wrong? It's possible.
Well, Mark Carter, St. Louis County Councilman, just sent me an email. He might have been listening to the show, or somebody told him, and we appreciate it because we know we have people that listen all throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, even down in Springfield, across the country, and some listeners across the world. Here are the numbers that I get every day about hospital beds in region. Page 4, he sent me a graphic. By the numbers spread out over 5 major hospital groups, that's throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, the hospitals are not overrun with COVID patients compared to other people sick in the hospital with other issues.
I agree.
Overall, the rooms are about 85% occupied with all patients, Chris,
General and COVID.
General and COVID.
Yes.
Now, these ratios have not changed much over the last year. So be careful how this is reported up and down. So, Mark, we appreciate you sending that. So if you hear that, Mark says the numbers that he is getting when it comes to the hospitalizations include. Now, what I will ask the task force today is the 622 that you say are hospitalized with COVID.
It's including ER visits, I guarantee it.
Is that including, quote, visits?
Yes.
That people just visit and or other patients? Because the total hospitalizations, we were told, I flat out asked this question yesterday. So if somebody told me incorrect information, I will call it out. Told me, no, we have 622 COVID patients hospitalized today.
Okay.
And in January, it was 715, January 19th.
Okay. But Chris is right, and that just needs to be clarified. And if there's any ambiguity, I apologize. But that is such a big thing because
there's a big difference.
Just on my block alone, there were 5 ER tests for COVID. Now, did each one of those get put into the record? And the reason this is important, ladies and gentlemen, these are where our officials are making decisions on if kids should be masked in the next 2 or 3 days before they walk into any high school.
And
that's
one of those
where
major
this gets
meetings
important.
happened last night in Rockwood.
Yes, sir.
Where Rockwood
and
did
people
not.
are pissed off.
Well, people are pissed off, but people are also happy, Chris.
Yeah, there's definitely both
and that's
sides.
where I love
Absolutely.
Because I do feel as if, especially at Fox 2, we're covering both sides of the story now, and I love it where you get to see both sides. And you know what? When you listen to people who want the mask, they're making arguments and debates that they feel are extremely warranted.
Absolutely.
They look at the people who don't want masks as if you're crazy, you're Neanderthal, you're ultra political, the same way that people who don't want masks are looking at those who do.
Yep.
And they're literally on both sides of these school board meetings. When you walk up, you've got a group on the left, you got a group on the right. And then they go in, they make their claims, they yell at each other, they leave, and guess what? It doesn't do anything. The school boards are deciding for themselves. It's all for show. It doesn't mean anything. And the only way people are ever going to change something or try to get what they feel is right, no matter what side you're on, is by constantly, and I mean constantly, day after day after day, lighten up school board members, lighten up the superintendent,
and they don't
emails, calls, 24/7. I mean, that's the only way, whether you're for mask or against it. It's almost as if you have to have shifts of people who are doing it each day to put constant pressure on. Hey, I want mask. You know what? I want Wentzville to have mask. Or, hey, in Francis Howell, I don't want the mask if you're not vaccinated. That's the only way you're going to get to school boards.
Well, we're doing our best.
Or you remember it when it comes to
You got to vote them out. That's it. You have no other choice.
Whether you like the mask or whether you don't.
Got to vote them out. It's all there is to it. And you know what? I don't know anything about
But
Rockwood.
unfortunately, COVID is not gone, Eric. It's not, because of all the cases. And that's why we're talking about this as we go into fall. My concern, and real quick, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We already know that if you got vaccinated, you can not only get COVID again, but you can shed it. Okay? Those are facts. Even Dr. David Tannehill told us that as well. The same doctor who doesn't believe flu exists anymore told us. And our friend of the show, he's like, yeah, people need to realize. And that's why he didn't understand the reason for vaccination cards.
Let me tell you a story.
Because he said everybody can get COVID. Everybody can spread it, whether you have been vaccinated or not.
I know. It's so confusing.
It's not confusing.
It's so confusing because here's the deal. You can't have a school that has you can't say it's optional. You can't do it. I'm going to say this controversially because then there's bullying on each side. The unmasked kids are going to bully the masked kids, and the masked kids are going to bully the unmasked kids. It will be
depending upon where you're at.
Oh my!
Right.
Can you imagine going to school where they didn't have a unified message on what we have to do? Can you imagine going to school and every time you saw if you were wearing a mask and you were fearful of this disease, and there was a gaggle of kids coming down the hall? Try to put yourself back in when you were 14, 15, 16 years old and how that must feel. Think about that for a second.
From Kelvin Carter on the Facebook line, and Kelvin's called into the show before, works in St. Louis Public Schools. Where's the happy median?
There isn't one.
Does voting them out change the parents on either side of the mask debate?
I think it does.
Is this issue, or in this issue, is there any compromise?
No.
I got an idea.
Kelvin, it's interesting because we were talking about that, and I appreciate you writing that, because when it comes to a mask, I don't know how you compromise with a mask because it's either on or it's not. But we want every opinion we can possibly get on the show, and that's why the show has exploded in popularity over the past year and a half, because we'll talk about those issues. Yeah, I would love. How do you compromise on this issue?
You can't. The government's genius. If they're trying to divide us, man, they picked a good one. You're either a masker or you're a non-masker.
That's it.
The government, if they are using this as a tool, I'm telling you, if these clowns in Washington D.C. right now are trying to fear us into hating each other, masks is the perfect way to do it, my friends. It's a flag. It's a flag of, I mean, it's political, guys. Masks don't work. We've done study after study on this.
Well, health officials are
Ireland are coming out and saying it's abusive to
public
put.
health officials are still, Eric, public health officials are still telling doctors and school boards as we take a break that masks save lives.
They don't.
Okay. I'm just telling you what public health officials
we have
are
a
saying.
full-blown vetted study that's come over from Ireland. The Irish have said if you put a mask on a kid, it is the equation is abuse.
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to talk about this. We're still waiting for Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt to talk about all that's going. What a busy week, and we appreciate him making some time for us. Plus, there's some major goings on when it comes to mortgages right now. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Oh, yeah. Some historic things happening in the St. Louis area as well. And we're going to talk with a mortgage expert, somebody who's been in the business for a long time, about that as well. We'll check in to see what's happening with that whole situation. Steve Strick, the regional vice president of USA Mortgage as well. So we've got a packed hour. We already tell you that's an hour gone already, Eric. That's why it's the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio anywhere. 100.7 The Viper. You can stream us at viperrocks.com. That's where a ton of people listen to us. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell still hasn't showed up. I think she's getting that knee replaced. We'll see. All the best to Tabitha. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Hey, if you want to give us a call as well, you can try. We're going to be pretty busy this next hour, but the phone number is 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. You can also catch us on YouTube at The Morning Edge, and, of course, on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. It's 8:54, back with your headlines as well. Plus, we're going to check in with Dave Murray this next hour, too. Can we stuff any more in an hour?
No.
I don't know.
My God, I need a drink of water. Back with more right after this.
Listen to the Edge Morning Show live. Watch it live or anytime on demand. Details at viperrocks.com or on Facebook.
Edge Morning Traffic.
Molly Rose joining you now for a look at the Friday morning commute. A rollover crash has shut down I-70 eastbound near Grand in the city. The express lanes are still getting through. After major slowdowns from a serious crash up in North St. Louis County, traffic is starting to pick up in the westbound direction. And St. Charles County and Lincoln County drivers are on the move. No slowing on I-70, 64, 364, or 61. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose, and that's your Edge traffic.
Let's start with everyone out there looking to catch up on some much-needed summer fun. Narrow it to all those summer fun seekers who got caught without sunscreen. Oh, for you, Walgreens now offers delivery in as little as 1 hour. From sunscreen to bug spray to snacks and toys, Walgreens makes it easy to get the essentials you need quickly so you can keep your summer going.
Right now, buy 2, get 1 free on all 12-pack soft drinks. Of equal or lesser price, valid through 8/21. Restrictions apply. See Walgreens.com for details.
An important part of staying healthy is keeping up with your regular preventative exams like mammograms and colonoscopies. Barnes Jewish St. Peter's Hospital and Progress West Hospital offer convenient locations for you to keep on schedule with your screenings and with extra protocols in place to keep you safe during your visit. Early detection is your best medicine. To schedule an appointment, call 636-928-WELL or visit bjcstcharlescounty.org.
Today, I'm taking it to the streets to give people the good news. Oh, excuse me, hello. I'm Flo from Progressive, and did you know...
No, I'm just waiting for the bus.
So then Then you have time to hear about how with Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance.
Yeah, if I was interested in talking to you, which I'm not.
Okay, I'll do the talking and you just check if you can be saving, which is going to be pretty hard to do if you put on your headphones. Okay.
See if you're paying too much for home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. It's the final days to save up to $1,000 on select Sleep Number 360 Smart Beds and adjustable bases, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Time to take a look at your morning headlines. Let's start with sports. The Cardinals actually won last night. This is what frustrates me about the Cardinals. They do just enough to try to keep you in there. Just like, oh yeah. Eric, I think you gave this analogy before. They're like that girl you really, really like. You really, really want to believe that something good's going to happen. And then she doesn't call you for like a month, and then you're like, okay, yeah, nothing's. And then she'll text you, and you're like, oh man. So you're saying there's a chance?
There's not.
The Cardinals actually won last night. They took one of 3 games from the Milwaukee Brewers. They're only 3.5 games out the wild card. You're like, yeah, there's a chance, but then you're like, crap. We know we don't want to get all back into this and it go out. Anyway, local star Jason Tatum. From Chaminade is giving away free school supplies in the St. Louis area. More of that on fox2now.com. You can check out the information there. Unfortunately, a business dispute in Cahokia Heights leads to a stabbing. We'll continue to follow the condition of the people there. A man was shot and killed, unfortunately, in the Greaterville neighborhood early Friday morning. St. Charles Police, we had a great story last night from Chris Hayes on Fox 2, are using crime data now to predict when and where criminals are going to strike. It's a fascinating read on how they're doing it. And believe it or not, they actually showed research and how they look at it and how it's actually working so they can try to get ahead of the crime that's actually happening. An Uber driver and a passenger were nearly hit by a wrong-way driver 2 nights ago in St. Louis. Got to be careful wherever you are. There was a guy on Facebook promoting that he was shoplifting and stealing all kinds of merchandise all over the St. Louis area and selling it on Facebook. Well, Chesterfield Police had an operation. They located the man. They actually subpoenaed Facebook for pictures, put together a huge case, found the guy living with his mom in his basement, 4 rooms full of stolen merchandise that he was selling on Facebook. They said it was crazy, his work ethic. They said he was just working the wrong kind of job. And parents protest the mask mandate in Rockwood School District last night, but nothing changed. They're starting, like most schools, with the mask mandate. Let's look at your morning headlines. Now it's time to talk about our weather for the weekend, and we're doing that with Dave Murray. Dave is now joining us. Dave, I can feel the heat and humidity coming back, the dog days of August.
Oh, yeah. It's 81 degrees right now, and the dew point is 73.
Woo!
So that's why you're feeling it, and it's going to be a more humid day today, temperature-wise about the same as the last 2 days or so. But we're looking for partly sunny skies. There could be a couple of pop thunderstorms as we go through the afternoon. Nothing out there right now, but very limited. Most of today is dry. 88 for the high. Tonight, increasing showers and thunderstorms, some heavy downpours of rain possible. I think the core rain, there's a front dropping in, will be from about 3 in the morning until about 9 in the morning on Saturday. And then that should just about do it. 72 for the overnight low, very humid. Saturday, still very humid. Even though the front will be coming through, it kind of gets stuck on us most of Saturday. There'll be those scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially first thing in the morning. 90 degrees for the high. Sunday looks beautiful. Now, it's still warm, 90 degrees, but lots of sunshine. There'll be a dramatic drop-off in the humidity on Sunday. So even with 90 degrees, it should feel pretty good. Hot and steamy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week with high temperatures of 95 plus. There you go.
It's summer. It's still summer.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's still summer. I know. Everybody
And
seems to be
thankfully it's
amazed
summer.
by
Dave,
this.
I'll take these temperatures all day long over 40-degree temperatures. I'm sorry.
Well, 40s, I can do 40. I'll take them over, 30, 35.
hey, watch this. Watch this.
Wait a minute. So, Dave Murray, you'd rather have 40s than have what we're having this week?
No, I can tolerate 40s without any trouble.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. No, I love warm weather.
It's because you're a
fine.
beast. You're the weather beast, Dave Murray.
Watch this. Watch this. This is I'm going to feel insanely important right now. Sandy Miller was in here yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed her.
And she told me to tell you hi. So I basically was the mediator between Sandy Miller and Dave. So
Right.
I feel
I'm so
I feel big.
happy for her. We text from time to time, and I'm just so happy for her and her hubby that she's pulling the trigger on this and going to enjoy life. She's a wonderful person.
You know what?
She was a hit on radio yesterday, Dave.
She
that's
was.
for sure.
Yeah, the thing about it is I asked her, I go, when someone of your stature does this so long, day one of not being employed at the station anymore, do you feel weird about it? And she was like, not just no, but hell no. I'm ready to rock. I'm ready for retirement.
And by the way, when she left the radio show yesterday, she posted a picture yesterday at her pool.
Yep.
With a glass of wine and sunglasses and saying, first time this year at the pool without any grandkids, peacetime.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
Well, Eric, Dave, we appreciate you joining us, my friend. Have an awesome weekend.
You too, guys.
Dave
True
Murray.
story, man. I mean, the heavy hitters are leaving St. Louis. Think about it. Think about it, man. All these retirements off of television. And now, I mean, you're big. I mean, you're the next. You're in line. You are going to be legacy. What? You are going to be a legacy anchor in St. Louis one day. Think about that.
Okay. Amen. All right.
Think about that,
it.
Vic. That's important stuff. You could be the next Larry Connors.
Oh, dear God. You did not just say that.
You could be the next Larry Connors.
I like Larry, but
you are
up next. MASH.
I love it. You could be the next Julius Hunter. How about that?
Oh, my God. That's funny. Hey, we got to. All right, there's some as big of a deal as this COVID deal is, and we've been talking about it. We're going to continue to talk about it. With hospitalizations, Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt's going to be calling in about 10 to 15 minutes. But first, there's a big mortgage situation going on in the St. Louis area right now. And to talk more about it, we've got Steve Strick, the Regional Vice President of USA Mortgage. Steve, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Did you by chance see the article that we had on fox2now.com?
Good morning, guys. Vic, I did. And
what the hell's going on?
It caught me off guard a little bit. But, yeah, there's some serious things happening in St. Louis, the metropolitan area, and I guess we can touch on those a little bit.
Yeah, when it comes to that, I guess what's the decline in the first quarter all about?
It's crazy. The last 18 months of the mortgage business have really been an intense roller coaster, with COVID happening and rates dropping so much last year. It's just been really unpredictable. But, there was a massive decline actually across the nation. St. Louis had the largest decline in mortgage applications in the first quarter. And, there's a lot of things that's crazy. But, there's some things that go into it. On January 1st, we saw the lowest rates in history. The national rate was around 2.7%. A quarter later, which is only 3 months, April 1st, they were up 0.5%. So right there, it decreases a ton of purchase power. So people, feel like the rates are, extremely high when they go up 0.5%, but we're still at historic lows. Another thing that's really went into that, application decrease is inventory. Inventory just kept getting smaller and smaller. And I think people were waiting for the springtime, summertime to put their homes on the market. So that compounded with rising interest rates. And lastly, a lot of people don't remember this or think about it, but St. Louis is seasonal. We have 4 seasons here, and a lot of people don't want to go out and look at homes in the wintertime. So, I think those are 3 major factors that went into that.
I have a subdivision I live in where people are literally selling their homes, not because they have anywhere else to go or they have taken another job. We have asked. They are selling their homes because this is the time they can make the most money.
Well, Steve,
with
he
their
lives in
house.
Wentzville, too, by the way.
Wentzville, right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm talking, of course, I talk to people every day, and there are people that just want to take advantage of the peak of the market. And we're seeing, I have friends that are literally selling their home right now because, one, interest rates actually dropped again, but the values of the home, we may not ever see that again. We might, but we might not. You can't really time the market, but they're willing to rent for a year, to see if the prices come back down. That way they can capture the increase of price on their home now and not pay such an inflated price maybe in 12 months from now.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Well, so what's the current
But
mortgage?
here's the thing, though, is, we can't predict what mortgage rates are going to do either. So if mortgage rates go up, your purchase power could potentially be the same. It's catch-22.
So what kind of advice would you give to people, Steve? I mean, what's the market look like right now throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area?
So throughout St. Louis, we're still seeing a pretty slow application rate, but that's just over the last 30 days. And, rates are actually pretty close to where they were at the beginning of the year. A lot of people don't realize that, but they're only 20 basis points higher than they were at the, lowest of the low. But, one of the things that we're seeing right now, like literally right now in August, is that a lot of families are squeezing in that last vacation before school. So, there's not a lot of people looking. There was a lot of pent-up, vacation that people wanted to take and because of COVID, so they're taking that now. But I do see mortgage applications probably going up a little bit in September and October.
Interesting. So what can we look? What is a good rate right now? Because you just told me that what was it 2.2% or whatever is a good mortgage rate. Mine is way over that, and I only bought a house about a year and a half ago, so they came way down. And I do remember a day, and it wasn't too long ago, when mortgage rates were 4 to 6%, and you still felt like, okay, I did a pretty good job on this thing. What's a good mortgage rate right now?
There's a lot of things that go into it, depending on product and credit score and things like that. But here's the thing. If you're getting a mortgage rate right now and you have good credit, you're capturing historical low interest rates. So, I think that money at 3% is basically free. But the thing about it is people were spoiled, and when they weren't getting 2.75% and now they're getting 3.25%, they think that, they're getting taken. But I'd say, anything under 4% is a great rate. So we're in some great times as far as borrowing money, and we may see 4 or 5% here in the next couple of years. Who knows?
Hey, Steve, what else do listeners need to know about what's going on right now? Maybe a final note, a final piece of advice, anything from what you're seeing, because you have, you've got your hands in and are doing business in several states now.
Right. Yeah, I have offices in about 14 states currently, and, the market seems to be pretty consistent across the board. There's a lot of buyers out there. There's not a lot of inventory. So I guess my advice, if you're out there looking at it, we'll start with refinance. If you haven't looked into refinance in the last year, talk to your mortgage professional. See if they can save you some money. If you're borrowing for 30 years at 3%, that's essentially free, and you're probably going to make more than that in the market. As far as buying a home, obviously Kathy being in the business like she is, I get to see things every day.
Kathy Helbig-Strick, who we've had on before.
That's right. And people are a little bit concerned about overpaying for a house right now.
Yes, good
point. My advice is, if you really like that home, and you plan on being in it for, 2, 3, 5 years, we typically see real estate appreciate. So I wouldn't get caught up in paying a little bit more for that, dream home that you want, as opposed to just pulling the trigger and being happy.
I disagree with that, but I'm a little bit more thrifty. But
how much time do we have?
I don't know. When's Eric Schmidt calling in here? I just think that it's like, It is a buyer's market, but you know what? Beware, don't buy the Les Paul for $10,000 when it's only worth $2,000. That's kind of how I feel about it. I want a Les Paul. I'll pay $2,000 for it, but not $10,000. And that's the same with houses, I think. Anyway, thanks, man.
Hey, that's Steve Strick, Regional Vice President of USA Mortgage. How can people find you, Steve, if they have some more questions or want to use you guys?
You guys can search me on Google, Steve Strick, USA Mortgage. I should pop up pretty quickly.
Did you already get your workout in today?
I'm actually you actually interrupted me. I was going to go in there here in a minute. We're down at the lake, and I'm gonna jump in there after the show.
All right, go get your pump on for all of us. Steve, we appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
All right, good to get some advice there. My, oh my, oh my. All right, we've been telling everybody if there was anybody who had a better week than Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt, and he'll tell you he was just doing his job, we'd like to know who it is. Who had a better week than Eric Schmidt? Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmidt, thank you for joining us this morning. I know that you're extremely busy. We have been hounding you and your media guy, Chris, all week long, going back to last week. Please don't hate us, but we love the fact that you found some time for us. I'm serious. I feel bad hounding you guys all the time. But my, oh my, what a week. Can we first start with what's going on with mask mandates, not only in St. Louis County, but around the state?
Yeah, so it's great to be with you. I would say that this is a great week for the people of St. Louis County. The million people who've been continue to live now free from the tyranny of Sam Page's illegal orders. So, so we had a couple of weeks ago, as you might recall, we filed suit against St. Louis County for the mask mandate. We had a temporary restraining order, which prevented any implementation of that mask order. So we won then. Sam Page, in an odd way, would not fully recognize. He said, well, we're going to have a hearing in 2 weeks. We're not sure that's really, blocking the mask mandate. It was very confusing and troubling because it was not accurate. So we were back in court again yesterday, and the judge continued that. Now we have a preliminary injunction, which lasts longer, because we've known all along that this isn't based on science. This isn't based on facts. This is about control. And they keep moving the goalposts. But St. Louis County right now is free from a mask mandate. I think it's just really important. It's interesting because I think we reached out last week. I had a press conference on a cold case arrest that we had down in Jefferson County from a murder from several years ago. And I was asked by a reporter at that interview, and this video went viral, and he said, hey, what do you think about all this fear being used? Couldn't fear be a good thing, right? Get people to wear masks, yada, yada. And my response was, that is what every single dictator and tyrant has said since the beginning of time, to try to use fear to accumulate, aggregate, and maintain power.
Yes.
And I'm not going to, I don't want to live in some dystopian biomedical security state. I believe in individual rights. I believe in responsibility. I think people can make their own decisions. And that's why this fight is so important. So we're successful in St. Louis County. We've got a lawsuit that's pending in Kansas City and St. Louis also, that we're moving forward, getting more information about what they've actually based those decisions on, and I think that'll be telling.
You mean
and then
St.
yesterday
Louis
we
City?
filed suit against Jackson County. We're going to fight this on all fronts.
Yes.
And I'm committed to it. People deserve to be able to live as free citizens, not as subjects.
It seems like it's over.
But that's Eric. Kim last night was at 360 in downtown St. Louis for a dinner with a friend. And I said, hey, when you walked in and say, was everybody wearing a mask? Because there's still an order in St. Louis City to wear a mask from Tashard Jones. And she said hardly anybody was even wearing a mask at 360.
Yep.
But people have had enough of this. I cannot tell you. I spoke to a group in St. Charles 2 weeks ago today. There were 1,200 people there. And I've been around, and I've run statewide a couple of times. I've been around. I've gotten around the state. You get a feel of what's happening on the ground. Something is happening right now that I think can help save this republic, which is people are showing up to school boards. People are showing up to city councils. People are calling in on radio shows. People are on your Facebook page. They've had enough of this. It's a very American feeling to not have the government tell you how to run your life every day. And this idea that we're going to mask, or the government requires 6-year-olds to wear masks all day long when there's no science behind that. In fact, there are studies that show that it causes emotional and psychological problems for these kids because it's about control, and people have had enough of it. They're tired of being lied to, and so I'm going to continue to be their voice.
I would like to get into the what was happening last week when this judge. I mean, you won the case. It seems like you went through the Bill 271. It gave the council the ability to block Sam Page, but you had this judge that comes up to you and goes, you know what? We'd like to go into a room and kind of, see if you can figure this whole thing out and do like a mediation. Were you just rolling your eyes at this judge going, wait a minute, you're a thumbs up or thumbs down on the case. You're not supposed to get us to try to compromise with this thing. What were you thinking the whole time that you were in this compromise situation?
Well, as always, as an officer of the court, I want to be respectful. But I knew that we're so far apart on this. You have somebody who believes that with a stroke of a pen, they can tell 1 million people that they need to wear a face covering, even if they've been vaccinated in public places. That is ridiculous. And there is no way I was ever going to agree to that because, by the way, it defies science and logic. And here's the thing. If you've been vaccinated and you want to put 6 masks on your face and walk outside in 100-degree August weather in St. Louis in Forest Park and walk around that park all day long, God bless you. Go ahead and do it. This is America. But don't have the government be telling, everybody else that they got to do the same thing. And that's what this fight is all about. People can make their decisions. I'm fine with whatever decision you want to make. But my job is to push back against this government overreach and protect individual liberty, and I'm never going to back down. And by the way, you become a very big target when you do that. You look at what's happening with the Post-Dispatch and the Kansas Star. I mean, they can't write enough about me because I dare to threaten this orthodoxy.
Yes.
I dare to challenge this orthodoxy. They don't want anybody to question this stuff. But that's not who I am, and I don't think that's who, the people of Missouri want as their attorney general. And like I said, people are tired of it.
Yeah. Have you ever looked under the hood enough about why do you think this is going on? Is this political? Is this people that are the people on the left, and that's the only way I can say it, Democrats, or is this a mantra that they have to continue, or because you're right, the science isn't there. We ask every day on this show. It's just not, there's no data.
It's right. It's absolutely political. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is not about science. Now they try to hide behind that, but when you really, scratch the surface and you look at the studies, like just for example, with kids, there's no evidence that masking help. In fact, school districts that had no mask requirement, during last year versus the ones that did actually fared better. There's no serious risk of contracting, transmitting, or getting seriously ill. There's very little risk, I should say. But here are the facts, okay? And by the way, any COVID case is a serious matter, but there have been no children under the age of 10 who died of COVID. If you're under the age of 25, you have about a 1 in a million chance of dying of COVID, okay? Those are just facts. Now, when you say those things, people want to put you in some sort of category as though you're uncaring. I just think that people ought to know the facts instead of this fear-mongering that we see every single day. And why do they do it? They do it because they want to extract more control. And by the way, we saw this with election laws last year with the pandemic. They were using that to undermine election security laws. So people are waking up to this, and they've had enough of it. They don't believe it anymore. They want to make their own decisions, and they're tired of being lied to by the left that's hell-bent on creating this, as I said, biomedical security state where one person can make all these decisions for everybody. And that's not how America was set up. And it's not the America I want to live in, and why I'm going to continue to fight back.
We're talking with Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt, who's had one hell of a week when it comes to his side, whether people like him or not, or agree with what he's doing or not. It was certainly successful in regards to what he was fighting for. That's the mask situation throughout the state. But late Friday night last week, you had a press conference because you, and correct me if I'm wrong, along with the Texas Attorney General, had sued the Biden administration for a border policy that was in place with former President Trump. I believe it was the remain in place, or correct me if I'm wrong, when it comes to illegal aliens crossing into the border. You won your lawsuit.
Yep, we won.
You beat.
We won, and Yeah, Vic,
Correct
and a
us.
bit of breaking news this morning. We actually won again on it because the federal government, appealed it to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and they were denied. So that order that we got on Friday remains in effect. And here's what it was. So when Joe Biden came into office on day one, he issued two sentences by way of an executive action that said, "I am reversing President Trump's migrant protection protocols, or what's known as the Remain in Mexico policy."
Yes.
What is that? That is that when people came here seeking asylum, that you weren't just going to release them into the interior United States and hope they come back for a court date, that Mexico would be the waiting room. Why is that important? Because if you don't do that, you create an incentive for human traffickers right now who are connected with the drug cartels that put a price tag on women and children to get them across the border, because once they're over and they seek asylum, everybody's released into the interior. It's not a viable immigration strategy or policy, because you have no idea. There's been 1.1 million people that have come across illegally since January. Okay, so Trump's Remain in Mexico policy says, wait a minute, if you're seeking asylum, Mexico is going to be the waiting room. And by the way, we found out that 9 out of 10 asylum claims are bogus.
Yes.
Okay, the Biden administration didn't take any of that into account. They just reversed it. And so now what do you see? A disaster at the border, a humanitarian crisis, a national security crisis, human trafficking and drug trafficking exploding at the border. So we said, look, you can't do that. We filed a lawsuit, and then Friday night we won. The judge said, yeah, the Biden administration can't do it. We are going back now to President Trump's successful Remain in Mexico policy. They appealed it or sought an emergency stay this week. They were turned back late last night. And so we feel confident. And look, this is about making sure the rule of law prevails and we have border security. And it's a big win. I mean, it's probably the biggest win against the Biden administration to date, and we were proud to lead that charge here in Missouri.
You guys won. I when I saw this, I'm like, oh my God, amazing. You're right. 1.2 million just kind of led into the interior of the United States since Biden came into office. How do you separate the spaghetti from the sauce now that all of that has been done? Do you have to go find these people again? Do you put them in the waiting room over in Mexico? Does Mexico know that they have to be in the wait in Mexico policy? What's the tactics now that you guys won going forward?
Well, the folks are supposed to. We know that the honor system doesn't really work.
No.
Right? People are supposed to come back for the court date. But I'll tell you the other thing that's troubling is last week the Biden administration and Democrats in Congress were trying to use that reconciliation bill to provide amnesty for everybody. So this is the left's playbook, right? An open border and amnesty. You just never had a president actually that's willing to go do that for them. I mean, I listened to a speech 2 weeks ago, and I tweeted out on my Twitter account from Bill Clinton in the late 90s. There wasn't a lot of room between Republicans and Democrats on, hey, maybe we should have a secure border, and maybe, we ought to make sure we enforce immigration laws.
And
now,
Biden was one of them.
You got one party that actually believes in the rule of law, and another party that is perfectly fine with an open border in providing amnesty, teaching our kids to despise America, adding states to the union to get your way, federalizing election laws to make election security, difficult. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, one of the reasons I'm running for the United States Senate, we need more people in Washington, D.C. who are going to go fight these fights. I'm doing everything we can do right now in the AG space, and I'm proud of it.
You beat me to the
but
punch.
There's obviously more work to do in the Senate.
Eric, we're kind of up against the clock here. Let me ask you a question real quick. What is your opinion on this whole entire Afghanistan botched military deal that President Biden has us currently in?
It's a total disaster. It is, and Biden owns all of this. And as an American, I take no pleasure in saying that. You have tens of thousands of Americans who are over there right now. Mm-hmm. How this could have happened is one of the great foreign policy disasters in American history, certainly since the Vietnam War. And so we need to make sure we get all of those Americans out right now. And by the way, we shouldn't be charging them $2,000 to get back. They deserve to have a government and a military that's going to, go get them. And so our troops are doing a great job. But boy, oh boy, you see some of those scenes and people hanging from that airplane last week. It's nuts. And by the way, it emboldens other enemies around the world. So it's a total disaster.
No, it also changes the dynamic between our relationship between the United States and Europe and our allies who don't trust us on anything anymore. And when you get into the Senate, you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to. It's almost like we have to go through the entire process of showing that the United States is a strong country. We're a proud country. Yep. I mean, this is unbelievable. Yep. When I saw the generals the other day trying to do a joint press conference, I was like, you guys have got to be kidding me. You say as the United States military, we're getting our citizens out, and we're going to get our people that helped us with the Taliban over the last 20 years. They didn't say that at all. They were wishy-washy. It was crazy how we have to be clear and unambiguous about what our objectives are. And by the way, you want to know why it's so important to have American energy independence? Well, there's a bunch of reasons. One, we had cheaper gas than we do now, but you don't have to beg OPEC like Biden is doing right now to get us more, and they're not going to do it. The other reason why you have a strong economy, we need to bring our supply chains back home. There's a lot in telling Russia, here are the 16 targets we don't want you to have cyber attacks on. I mean, it reminds me a lot of what Obama did when he went around the world and did this like apology tour. Said openly he didn't really believe in American exceptionalism. I mean, this is not projected well across the world. They want the freedom-loving people of the world want America to be that shining city on a hill
Eric,
that is strong.
Eric, real quick, your thoughts on this, Eric, on this soundbite that Joe from George Stephanopoulos and Joe Biden.
Packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the
Eric,
decision?
your thoughts on that?
Yes.
It is embarrassing, and it is emblematic, I think, of an administration that's ill-prepared for the moment. I think that this is what happens, by the way, when the national media allowed a guy to run for president from his basement and put a lid on it at 9 a.m. and never have to really answer the American people. They were so obsessed with Trump, so obsessed with Trump.
Exactly.
We end up now with a guy that has no idea what he's doing. And that's not good for America. So anyway, it's just he's ill-prepared for the moment. His team, it's amateur hour over there, and they need to get this fixed for the sake of the country.
So you're running.
People want. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going to say you're running for Senate. Do you feel like this is a layup right under the basket? I mean, it seems like people are sick of this. As a matter of fact, I think this is so dire with what's happening right now with Afghanistan, the border, taxes, $3.5 trillion. I mean, do you think that you've just been handed this massive gift running for your next phase of your career? Because I tell you what, I think that the backlash in the United States right now is so overwhelming that this might have destroyed any Obama legacy, the George Soroses of the world. This could put an end to this whole thing because people are just sick of it.
Yeah, you're seeing what happens now when you put socialists in charge of government, right? And so people, I think, are going to reject it. I think there's a wave coming next year to take our country back. And I think, people have had enough of this.
Eric, sounds like Eric.
They're going to speak up.
Yeah.
Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt talking about a successful week, also about how that could go into his U.S. Senate race. Eric, we're grateful that you spent some time with us this morning. Thank you to Chris as well for getting you on. I'm not mean, but I do hound people. I do.
No, listen. Hey, you never feel bad about that. I love coming on your show, and I will always
I
make it
text
work.
the hell out of people. I'm sorry. Eric, thank you again for taking time. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys, take care.
All right. I do. It's like, crap, there's Vic again. I mean, but you got to be in this business. You have to be.
See if you can get
So
us
that's
into
why
the
I'm
kickoff
apologizing.
party for his campaign. That'll be fun.
What do you mean his kickoff party?
Oh, we're going to have a kickoff party. The first day of that tour bus, and he's riding around Missouri and
He's
trying
going
to
to
be
use Viper One.
Viper One. Hell,
and
we
you're
could have
offering the
helicopters.
services of Viper One, and you're offering the services of Platinum Rock Legends as entertainment.
I'm offering the services of Tabitha
What, you're
Hassell.
gonna put Eric Schmidt in the chair with your lead singer,
Oh,
Will?
you want to win, don't you? Okay, now we're talking. You know what was one thing about it? Eric Schmidt, what you just heard was a lot of politicians, they don't talk smoothly. He was so well versed in everything he was just talking about. It was like polish. This guy's ready to go, man. I'm telling you
He's
what.
right on the money.
This is the guy you got.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Vic.
What are you
Eric
sorry
Schmidt
about?
he's solid, man.
Well, yeah, he had a great week. You know what? Nobody else had a week like that. That's why I just said if anybody else had a week, whether people agree with the policy or not, it was a successful week from taking on Biden and winning and from taking on Page and winning. He won this week. There was no
Solid.
bigger winner than Eric Schmidt this week, for whatever that means. But, man, gosh, that's already an hour and a half. Shoot, we got to take a break.
What?
Damn, the show's going fast. Happy Friday, everybody. You're listening to The Edge. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. Yeah, we've been joking. She's getting her knee taken care of today. I don't know if it's a knee replacement. I think she's trying to make sure that it's
not a knee replacement.
that it's not broken.
She's using the end of a Tic Tac.
Is it a hip?
Because her knee's so small.
It's not a hip replacement, is it?
I think it's
Dude,
a
falling out of
lobotomy, maybe.
falling out of a boat on the Mississippi River can be very damaging to one's body.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to shut up now. I got a lot of people looking at me on Facebook.
Yeah.
That are waiting to rock on me.
Yeah, you know.
Tabitha, we know you're listening. We love you. We love you. And you can check us out on YouTube as well, The Edge Morning Show, and stream us at ViperX.com. We got to get to break. We'll be back right after this.
The Edge Morning Show. Back in a moment.
It's like I blinked, and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now, my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special where all smart beds are on sale. Save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mascot's Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peters, right by the Recplex. And if you are looking for a place to hang out with your friends, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. If you want delicious food, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. From their appetizers like the giant pretzel, this thing is bigger than your head, to the steak sandwiches, the value menu, to the legendary lunch special. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, you go in and tell them that you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want the legendary lunch special. It's a $5 half-pound burger and fries. That's right, $5 half-pound burger and fries. Better than any fast food burger you will ever have. And on Sundays, all day long. That's right, the legendary lunch special goes all day long on Sundays. Stop by and say hi to Jen and Rob. You will have a great time. Musical bingo, food, fun, friends, and family. It's Mascot's Bar and Grill.
If you have a calling to serve people in your community and help bring about positive change, come join us. Compass Health Network is currently hiring for multiple positions. We serve communities in 46 counties across Missouri and have a place for you. If you are a licensed therapist, nurse, integrated health specialist, dental assistant, office manager, or IT specialist, Compass Health Network offers a supportive work environment and great benefits. Find out more at careers.compasshealthnetwork.org.
You want a great job, and you want it now. Steel and Pipe in Jonesburg is hiring warehouse specialists right now for second and third shifts. Get great pay and awesome benefits like production bonuses, 401k with employer match, and paid holidays, plus medical, dental, vision, and supplementary insurance. Find out more and apply online at steelandpipe.com. Steel and Pipe in Jonesburg is looking for the right people right now. Apply in person or online at steelandpipe.com.
The Great Gap sale started at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Shop styles up to 75% off, plus long weekend deals, including flip-flops from $3, tees and tanks from $6, dresses from $12, and more. Shop it all through July 5th at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com.
Hi, this is Curtis Parks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair. Family owned and operated since 1973. We've seen a lot of storms. We know what we're doing. We're here to help. Complete Auto Body and Repair has multiple locations in the St. Louis area that handles hail damage and storm damage. So if you've had an issue or have an experience where you had to turn in a claim, please reach out to us. We'll handle all the red tape. We are Complete Auto Body and Repair. We handle everything from start to finish. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service!
Oh yeah, and service.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Edge with Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell, who is taking the day off. She's getting her knee checked out. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Appreciate everybody joining us. What a Friday show it has been. My, oh my, we just rock from one interview to the next, to the next, to the next. Thanks again to Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt for joining us today. And I don't care who you're rooting for or who you'll be voting for when it comes to the Missouri Senate race, whether you're voting Democrat or Republican in the primary, and then in the general election, and part of it's the reason because of the job that he's in, that, of course, being the Missouri Attorney General. But as of today, I mean, who else in the state, Republican or Democrat, has done more and shown that they're capable of that position in the U.S. Senate than Eric Schmidt?
Man, it's like when you join a football team and you're 3 on the depth chart, and then you go out there and you work hard and you make the passes and you do the workouts. That's Eric Schmidt. He is doing the work to go up the depth chart to number 1 in the Republican Party for that seat. And I'm starting to see it, and I think people across this country or across the state are starting to see it as well. He doesn't have the name recognition maybe of an Eric Greitens. I think that will dissipate when you start to hear him talk like this in debates and in public.
Well, he was very, very keen and up to date when it came to COVID stats and the survivability rate, and talking about kids under 12, nobody has died, talking about survivability rates of everybody in regards to, wait a second, let's not lose track of what's actually going on when it comes to COVID stats, which is interesting because it also leads into the masking update. While he doesn't have anything to do in Illinois, we did get an email last night that Greenville, Illinois school districts sent kids home from school yesterday who weren't wearing masks, said go home. They sent all the kids home who weren't wearing masks. And then today we see from Macoupin County, the Staunton School District is now going all virtual because they had an uptick in positive cases for kids. So they're going all virtual. And then it gets back to the old adage and the argument, okay, is this going to be here forever? Is it just like the flu? You have to learn how to deal with it, or do you run from it all the time that you're dealing with this? And is it possible that flu is still around or not, which we talked about very early in the show, because right now, as we had a doctor tell us, well, Vic, the flu is gone. The flu doesn't exist anymore because of social distancing last year, washing your hands and staying away from each other. But I don't know. I really haven't seen that happen. I don't know. It just makes you wonder what's going on with everything right now. But Eric Schmidt definitely, hands down. I mean, I don't even think there's a competition anymore regarding.
I don't either.
Because of what he is doing when it comes to assets that you bring to the table.
Yeah, I know that if you looked
at least from the conservative side.
Yeah. And it's going to be, I do think the Republican seat is going to be a slam dunk. I don't think there's any Democrat in the state of Missouri that can come in even close to winning that seat in the United States Senate. It's not going to happen. Sorry. But you do have some interesting candidates vying for the Republican nomination. But my God, Eric Schmidt is just one win after another win. Just commonsensical wins here, there. Kim Gardner, mass mandates. Now the federal government with our friends down in Texas. It is just overwhelming what this guy has accomplished. He's not lip service, Vic. It's not lip service. This is a guy that doesn't have to go on a stage under Klieg lights and put on a good presentation. All he has to do is unfurl his CV, his resume, and go, yeah, I did this. If you're interested in me going and taking this to the federal side, just vote for me on November 2nd.
And now you have the other situation that's going on. Afghanistan, it's now we're starting to see, and you talked about this, videos of things that are actually going on the ground in Afghanistan. And are Americans truly trapped outside of the city? Are they truly trapped outside of Kabul, the capital city, and the airport where they're trying to get in? There's reports that, Americans can't check everybody in fast enough. And people, once they get to the gate, they're freaking out. I saw a video yesterday where there was a couple of moms, they were handing their babies over to get them over the fence, over the barbed wire, in hopes that they could go to freedom because they knew that they would never have that opportunity.
Where the hell, you know what?
Ability. And then there was also, this is what's important here, France and England were doing what were called reports of doing gun runs, where they actually go out amongst the streets with the possibility of Taliban to get their people.
Yeah.
But the Americans, as of last night, had not gone on any, quote, gun runs to save Americans who may be trapped. It's hard to tell the difference between all the reports that we're getting of what's real and what's not. But when I see video of moms passing kids over their own life over fences to hopefully get them across, it blew my mind.
So he screwed this up so bad. Here's the only thing this clown can do, and he is a clown because I'm embarrassed as an American citizen. I'll call him whatever. To me, he doesn't represent my ideals. President Biden, you screwed up so bad. Here's what you have to do. And I hate to say this, Vic. You need to put 10,000 U.S. troops on the ground over there. You need an aircraft carrier off there.
Well, we've got 10,000 troops there now about.
No, they're gone. You need to
No, our troops are back there, Eric.
Okay, well, you need to go reopen Bagram Air Force Base immediately. You need to land C-19s and C-30 cargo planes. You need to put some hardware on the ground again, and you need to start roaming the streets of Afghanistan and saying, you an American citizen, we're extracting you. Let's go. You don't have a choice in this. And you need to unfurl what they furled up last week. If you are the United States president, you come on the camera today and you go, you know what, guys? I screwed up. We're going to fix this. Those two idiot generals that I just brought out here? Yeah, they're gone. They've been fired. They've been relieved of their duty. This is on me. The buck stops here. There's 2 aircraft carriers right now.
That's not what's going to be said.
I know. I'm just saying that's what I would do if I was the president of the United States. I'd say there's 2 aircraft carriers. We got air support. We're going to bust back these Taliban. As a matter of fact, if I see one Taliban, I'm putting a bullet through their head. It's over. The Taliban took advantage of the situation. And if there was any other president other than Joe Biden, this would have been cleaned up. Here's the deal. Trump would not have allowed the Taliban to just go ravage the countryside. I feel like he would have extracted his people first. He would have had some ceremony saying, hey, United States military, we're out of here. We've cleaned up as much as we can. We're gone. He would have gotten us out of there, but he would have done it in an orderly fashion. And this president that just took $2 billion in a car and a helicopter, what a corrupt he's going to get caught. And this guy needs to be brought back to Afghanistan so that the good people of Afghanistan can take care of this clown. So the only saving grace in all of this, the only thing that our leadership can do is they got to go and shock and awe this situation to get our American citizens out of there and the people that helped us in the last 20 years. And I'll leave it at that. Other than that, this guy needs to just stay inside of his little bunker at Camp David and just don't show your damn face anymore.
Well, the problem that we have right now is we haven't seen a lot of the president in the midst of everything that is going on. Now, he is supposed to be addressing the Afghanistan situation today. I think he's coming out today. He's going to leave for the White House today. And I think he's going to come out and speak. I don't know. I mean, but I don't know what you're even going to say at this point in time. But
what can you say?
As an American,
do
you really know what's happening over there right now? Do we know?
Yeah, because there's this thing called social media and cell phone towers.
Here's the thing.
You do see the optics of what's happening.
Well, the last thing I heard from our president was what we did hear from George Stephanopoulos say that he didn't think there was any other way for this to happen. But Democrats are now coming after him hard.
It's a joke.
Very, very, very hard, not to mention
it's a joke.
Republican rivals. So the Afghanistan situation is not taken care of. And right now, as Tabitha talked about a few days ago, we are, and I saw this report from CNN and Fox yesterday, we're negotiating with the Taliban. We are now asking for certain things. I mean, we're negotiating with the Taliban.
It's like negotiating with a murder hornet. Hey, don't sting me. Why not? But
I really don't know what's happening in regards to a plan, because the last we heard, too, General said we really don't have a way to go get Americans or Afghan allies outside of the capital city.
It's a hostage situation,
So if
Vic.
you don't have
it's
that,
a hostage.
then you have to try to negotiate.
Why would I negotiate
with the Taliban to go get, well, we're going to give you this to go get our American citizens
What's the
or
negotiation?
our Afghan allies.
It's
in
a
that
hostage.
area.
It's a hostage situation. If I know that I'm the Taliban and behind me throughout the countryside, not just in Kabul, if you know that throughout the countryside there's 12,000 American citizens who are going to be on their way to this airport, I own these people. What do you got for me? What do you got for me, America? You got anything? You got money? You got guarantees that we're going to – I mean, it's a hostage situation no matter what. If I let safe passage through these 12,000, 10,000 people, what do I get? Right? So it's a lose-lose situation all the way around. The only thing that you can do to win this thing is and you're not going to get help from Britain. You're not going to get help from France. Germany's not coming to your defense anymore.
No, but
it's not going to happen.
They're over there trying to take care of their own issues as
well.
well.
Yeah, they got their own special forces guys saying, we're going to try to get you out of here. You need to go and shock and awe what you screwed up. You screwed this thing up so bad that there's only one way for you to save face. And you got to put on the Rocky theme song immediately. And you have to have our U.S. servicemen going in there and air power support and hardware support and just going in there and getting our people out. It needs to look like an episode of Die Hard.
Well, in the midst of everything that's going on, though, too, the Taliban now has a compadre with China. And we have talked about that a little bit this week and where we're going to go and what you're going to be dealing with in that region right now as well. And you've also got an economic crisis that's a possibility in Afghanistan after we leave, amidst the violence and the Taliban taking over as well. And in the midst of all of that, how many people have you heard, politicians, world leaders, actually coming out and talking about how we're going to take care of things when it comes to women's rights? How many American politicians have you heard come out and speak about travesties that are happening and going to happen? Where is that? Where are our female leaders when it comes to
where's Nancy Pelosi? Where's Gloria Steinem? Where are those people that are on camera all the time whenever a Jeffrey Epstein comes up? But my God, now you have an entire countryside of girls who are 20 years old maybe, who don't even know what a Taliban is, who went through high school, who went through maybe starting college, who maybe started a business, who maybe didn't wear their burqa all the time. Where are the fema whatevers defending them? I want to know, Nancy, what do you think about the Taliban hanging women because they don't want to wear their burqas? Because that's going to happen. What do you think about that, Nancy? Did Joe do a good job now? Are you proud of how he handled it? Man, it is Mr. Whipple, don't squeeze the Charmin. It is a hypocrisy that is just, you need NASA to figure out how much hypocrisy is in the United States House of Representatives. And everywhere, Vic, you're right. Ask any liberal woman what they think about or a conservative woman, what they think is happening over there to these girls and to these men that don't want their flag to not be the Afghanistani flag. You see the people.
You said you saw some video yourself.
It's all over the place, Vic. I mean, my God, swing a dead cat, and you'll see a Taliban soldier hitting someone in the head in the streets of Kabul. Swing a dead cat, and you'll see a woman laid out with blood all over her. I mean, you don't have to go far. to search this stuff out. They're proud of it, Vic. Look, these people, the Taliban, want you to know, if you step out of line, this was going to happen to you. If you step out of line, we're bringing back public executions. You will be beheaded in the middle of a stadium.
I just haven't heard a lot of uproar in the last 2 days.
None.
After initially, when it comes to human rights and what the people inside the country are now facing, unless something's going on behind the scenes. But then again, as Americans, do we really know? We don't know. We have zero idea what's going on. And we haven't heard a lot. And I get letting the only person speak, the president, but we haven't heard much from the president. The only thing that we've heard from the president right now is we had to leave, and even the former President Trump agrees, yes, we had to leave. The disconnect comes here. Biden says, no, this was inevitable. This is how it had to be. There's no better way. Even Stephanopoulos asked him in that clip that we played, could that have been done better? He said, no, it couldn't have been done better. But now we also have reports that show Americans and American military intel show in reports going back to July, they knew that this would happen quickly if they did what they did.
And
so now we're starting to see the after effects come out, at least play out in the national media scene. So
don't you have to
what
ask
are we
yourself,
supposed to believe right now?
From the Facebook line, Kamala. I forgot Kamala. Why did I forget about her? Because you never hear about her. Kamala, Miss Harris, Miss Vice President. What do you think about the millions of women that now their lives are decimated over in Afghanistan? You know, there's this one thing that my dad used to say to me when we would walk into a store. You break it, we buy it. Right? That's what we did. We went over to Afghanistan. We took care of business, but we broke the damn place. We did. We protected them, and we started to build things back. You can't just walk away and pretend that nothing has happened over in Afghanistan. We still are responsible for certain people.
While the border situation is still going on as well.
Exactly. And the more I start to think about this, I came in here the day after that we pulled out. I said, you know what? Maybe we should have pulled out. You know, we don't need these
and
endless
COVID
wars.
cases on the rise.
Yeah. We don't need these endless wars. But you know what? The more I'm starting to think about it, the more that people are starting to send me messages about South Korea, North Korea, that relationship. Japan, we're still over there since World War II. North Africa, we're all over Europe still. You know what? If we win a war, the United States tends to stick around to make sure that there aren't any more wars in that region. Maybe we should have stayed there and said, you know what? This Bagram Air Force Base, this is ours. And we're not going anywhere. We're not going to be the policemen of Afghanistan. But we're staying here to make sure that if you have another terrorist camp, you know what, we're going to go over there and take a look at that terrorist camp. And if we feel like you guys are doing anything harmful to the Europe or to the United States, we're going to lob a few cruise missiles at you. So we're staying right here. If you don't like it, screw you. And this would have never have happened. So my perspective is kind of starting to change a little bit.
Well, we've had an awesome show, a great show again. We got to take a quick break again, but the fact of it remains that Afghanistan over the weekend is going to be a huge, huge topic. So are the COVID cases. And then we'll see where we go from that standpoint. I can tell you this, Monday morning, right out of the gate, we're going to be talking with Colonel Joe Adams. Colonel Joe Adams is going to be joining us again early, first thing Monday morning, to talk about what's actually happening and goes on when a situation like this occurs in Afghanistan. Also, the latest from the border, considering the fact that he worked the border for so many years and had a $1 million hit out on his life from the cartel because of the work that he was doing and aiding those women and children on the border. So Colonel Joe Adams, Monday morning as well. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Grab your coffee. The Morning Edge will be right back on 100.7 The Viper.
Let's start with everyone out there looking to catch up on some much-needed summer fun. Narrow it to all those summer fun seekers who got caught without sunscreen. Oh, for you, Walgreens now offers delivery in as little as 1 hour. From sunscreen to bug spray to snacks and toys, Walgreens makes it easy to get the essentials you need quickly so you can keep your summer going.
Right now, buy 2, get 1 free on all 12-pack soft drinks. Of equal or lesser price, valid through 8/21. Restrictions apply. See Walgreens.com for details.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when you see cracked drywall, uneven floors, or basement wall cracks, you want to make sure it's fixed forever. Woods Basement Systems, the all things basement experts, can restore your home's value. So call toll-free at 888-900-1721 for a free estimate. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods Basement Systems. Discount offer from Woods at viperbasements.com. That's viperbasements.com.
Hi, this is Curtis Parks. I'm the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair. Now that things are back up and the vaccines are out, we are ready to get back to work. The kids are home, and I'm sure you're ready to go back to work too. We are hiring all positions. We are looking for everyone and anyone that wants to make life better for themselves, and we want you now. CompleteAB.com is where you apply. CompleteAB.com. Join the Complete experience. No more sitting at home. Let's get back to work. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh, yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the fading, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show, and we say goodbye from the show. It's that quick. That's how long the show was today. Eric Schmidt, thank you for joining us today. Steve Strick, thank you for joining us. Dave Murray joined us.
What time you got to be at work tonight?
Oh my God, I'll be in this afternoon.
Right.
But it's all the stuff I got to do before then, my friend.
Oh.
It's called being a single dad with kids racing around everywhere.
That's so cute.
I cook meals. I have to clean up the kitchen. I have to do laundry.
Need some dinner, Dad.
You go be single with your life. And then you'll go, oh my God, thank you. Where did Tracy go? You'd realize real fast. Have a great weekend, everybody. Tabitha Hassell will be back Monday, allegedly. We'll see.
Don't threaten me.
We'll see. Eric Schmidt.
The militant
Thank you.
midget.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have an awesome weekend. We'll catch you Monday morning. See you for the Fox 2 News at 5 and 9 tonight.
Shanny's up next for some. Dan Bongino for others.